So this is the new Xvive U35. You've probably seen it, it's been out for a little while, but in today's video, we're gonna cover it on all the different types of applications you may wanna use it for yourself. It's really good. I'm gonna cover all the features. I'm gonna tell you how long it works. I'm gonna show you how it works, why the batteries work the way they do, basically why it only has a certain amount of range, how good is that range, and how reliable can that all be for you. We're gonna cover all that in this video, so let's get right to it. So what do we have here? We've got ourselves a busker speaker. We're gonna figure out the best way we may wanna use this guy on that. We also have ourselves a mixer. We even have a studio monitor. Why is there a studio monitor here? That's very important. We also have some XLR cables, and we have ourselves a microphone in this bag. We'll talk about that in a second as well. We also have an audio interface. Why would you have an audio interface? What's going on with the audio interface? And we also have a DI box. What? Why is there a DI box? Why do we have a DI box here? Well, we're going to cover all that in this video. And we're going to talk about how all this ties into Xvive. And just for comparison's sake, we also have the previous model. And we're also going to talk about why this is different than the U35C. So let's get this open and see where we're at. So here we go. It's in a pleasant box. If you've seen my live show, which happens usually mostly on Thursdays or Fridays, you would have seen that I do a lot of unboxing. This happens to be one of them. I did that a little while ago, so you can certainly look for the unboxing there. But what we're going to do is take it out of the box. I did want to show you how pretty it is. It's packed really well. It comes out really well. When you take it out of the box, just like this, you're going to see something very, very, very impressive, which is the fact that all the accessories are nicely hidden on the bottom. I did take my time to put it all back together again, just like I got it originally. Really, really nice to see it that way. Now it does come in a nice soft pouch, not like the old pouch. The old pouch was funky. It had this kind of like pop open thing, but they have just a standard pouch, which is great because you need to have somewhere to put it along with the cable. 2 units are there. This particular models happen to be all black compared to the old ones, which were a charcoal gray. So let's compare old with new with that one step right there. So there we go. Hard to tell. Old, charcoal gray, new, black. But that's not the only thing that's different now. A lot of people think that it's only the one feature, which is the frequency range, which is instead of 2.4 is now 5.8. It's not just that. There's more to it than that. Stay tuned. We're going to get to that real soon. Also in the box, cable. Now this is the most important thing that I like. The cable has gone from a micro USB to a USB-C. I'd like to thank the UK government for making that possible. With everybody in Europe deciding on a standard industry, we now get the pleasure of having USB-C instead of micro USB. Thank God. Think about it. Could have been worse. They could have decided the standard when we still had micro USB. That would have been a pain in the butt. But no, USB-C, easy as can be. So there's 3 additional things in the box besides all of that. Of course, there is a warranty card. Thank you very much. The QR code there for you if you want to get yourself your extended warranty on their website. Also, there's a little look at all the other great things we have, which is cool. We'll cover this someday. And then there's the user manual. I read it online because that makes it a bigger book and easier to read. And I did read it. I went through the whole thing. That's how I learned all the new features about it. And that's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. Remember, you do always have the option of playing this back at double speed so this way we don't skip over anything, but I don't know. I'm trying to talk as fast as I possibly can to make this as easy for you as possible. So let's get right back to it. So there you go. That is a Shure PGA58. This is a kit package. This is the package that comes with the XLR cable, which is kind of cool because if you notice the cable is all black. So if you're going to buy a PGA58 from Shure, and you go with the XLR kit, you get this nice black cable with it. It's kind of cool. It's kind of nice. Not something you normally get. And by the way, it does say Shure on the cable, but not on the actual connectors. Now, why do we talk about this? Because I can use an SM58. I have one of those just over on the back table, but I like using for live the PGA58. It just makes more sense, more practical price point. But again, if you already have this is why we're talking about it, because so many people do have great wired microphones, but they go, gee whiz, I just, you know what, I'm getting tired of that cord, like to change it up a bit. You can certainly do that. Take this guy off of here, replace this end here with the adapter. Off you go. You're going to notice how tight that is. That is a very tight connection because there's a rubber O-ring there. Then you take your second end, and this is where you're going to get some choices here. Depends on what you want to listen to. Okay, we can plug it in certainly right into our mixing board right here. We can plug it into our audio interface right there. Now, those are 2 great simple ways to do it as well. If you have yourself a busker speaker, let's take a look at how that works. The comments are always great, but questions are even better because questions help me decide what the next video is going to be about because, of course, my videos are based on how I can help you. Now, of course, products come and go. I can't get my hands on everything, but by all means, asking for it is the first step in getting it. So you let me know, and I'll do my best. So here we are. We've got ourselves an Alto busker speaker. Now, of course, I could have ran that XLR cable to the back, or I could have just selected the actual unit just like this. Plug this guy right into the back, get it in, of course, the right way, and job is done. I've gone wireless right from here to there. No 15-foot cable to worry about to trip over and yank my speaker. If I'm busking, this is probably one of the nicest ways to do it and keeps you safe. No worries there. If you're going to go to a Starbucks, or if you're going to go to a restaurant or somewhere, or a cafe where they're going to have you working there and singing some songs with your guitar and that, this is a great way to go. Convenient, easy, and it's got some great life to it. You're looking at a 5-hour battery play and a 2.5-hour charge time. Now, if I'm between gigs, I can certainly use the cable that came included, which has the Y splitter on. So that's this cable right here, which has one connection with 2 points that I can charge on it. So again, this particular unit runs at 2.1. So that means it has enough power to charge these 2 units up in 2.5 hours. From zero, by the way, I'm talking 1% charge. 1% charge, it will do the whole thing in 2.5 hours. And of course, that's proportionally ratio as you go down. But that's amazingly convenient. So let's say we want to go from the mixer here to an actual powered speaker, an active speaker like we have here. What are our options? Well, of course, we're going to take the actual adapter. We're going to find the actual transmitter, which is this part here. That's the piece that we had on the microphone just a minute ago. We have an option to have it set in mic or line. I'm going to choose line for this application because basically we're getting rid of the XLR cable once again, but we're doing it in a line purpose, not a mic like we did originally. So we're going to plug this guy right into here. We're going to take the other end of this guy and we're going to plug it right back where it came from, right in the back of the speaker, right here. Switch the speaker to line. Bob's your uncle. We're good to go. It's as simple as that. We also have the ability to go to a studio monitor. If you have a studio and you're playing everything on your headphones, and that's your main form of getting your actual entertainment to you and editing your videos, your music, whatever you're working with, but then you listen to your final drafts over there. This is such a good quality of sound coming off of this guy. I have no problems plugging this into the XLR and having my beautiful studio speakers, which are offside of my computers and my desk, completely wireless. So they are hooked up for power, but I have no cables coming across back to the mixing board or to my audio interface. However I have that hooked up, it's all done wirelessly. That is very nice. And again, I'm going to take advantage of that USB cable being connected to the back of the speaker or separately to the power supply that's in the back of the actual speaker itself. Pretty smart way to do that. Now let's say you're a guitarist and you have one of these guys, a DI box. This happens to be a double, so there's actually 2 DI boxes built side by side. Now you would use this on stage, so this way you can run your electric guitar in and out to your amplifier and then allow somebody to run this back, which is right here, to the front of house, to the big console mixer or mixing board, and you can now do that wirelessly just like that. See what I did there? So that's the option to go out, and I've done that. I've come out here into this unit, left it in the line option now because we're running out. XLR comes out balanced, and then we run the other end into our mixing board just like that. Look at that. That is amazing. Now what, I could also do this on the floor of my room if I need to do a connection and I want to again have my guitar amp playing, I want everything hooked up, but then I want to pull a feed off of my entire system and run it to my audio interface. Again, just like that now, wirelessly into my audio interface. It doesn't get any more convenient than that. So this adapter has the ability to replace 100 feet of cable, which is amazingly enough twice as much as I'm holding in my hand, because while 50 feet is convenient to hold, 100 is a lot of cable to have in your hand. And depending on the branded cable you prefer to buy, they can cost almost as much as a pair of Xvives. Now, of course, you can buy cheap cables on Amazon, but you get what you pay for when they're very reasonably priced. But if you're looking for high performance, high quality cable, maybe that's what you already have and you want to replace it with a good, reliable wireless system, there you go. So let's talk about overall reliability. I think we've covered almost every way that I can possibly think of. We've got a DI box connection. We hooked it up to an audio interface. We've hooked it up 2 ways through a mixer as an input and an output. We've hooked it up to our studio monitors, and we've hooked it up to our powered speakers and our busking speaker, all at the same time. Microphone was super simple. We found out that we had a nice O-ring right here, which made it a very snug, tight fit. Also note that this clip right here, the little clip right there, that is the actual grounding connection, which is very smart. Also, when you connect this end here, this is a balanced connection because any interference or anything happening here will get eliminated in here. And then we have, of course, because we're wireless and we're digital and we're 5.8 and we don't have to worry about the quality of the transmission from this point to here, this is going to be unbalanced when it gets to our mixing board. Because again, we're no longer worried about that balanced connection because there's no cable in the middle to be a problem. That's all gone. That's how, again, convenient that works, and how smart, how much time and attention they've put into making their product. So let's get a little closer in talking about the overall features. We're going to bring up some charts here, make that as simple as possible for you to understand, and show you why certain things are the way they are. Don't forget all those links. That's what supports this channel. And if you'd like, by all means, hit the like button, comment, subscribe, do all these wonderful things. If there's any other products from Xvive you'd like me to talk about, maybe help you out a bit with, and if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. Let's get a little bit more into detail when it comes to what's going on here. Now, of course, we know that you can buy this for your microphones. We know you can use it as a line out. We know you can eliminate your XLR cables with it. That's the concept of the whole product. So why, after 5 or 6 years, did they decide to come up with a new modern day version of the 2.4 and have it go into a 5.8? Is that all that they do? Did they change anything else on it? It cosmetically looks almost identical. It's very similar. They got this nice red ring at the bottom of it, which I think is very nice. They changed it from a micro USB to a USB-C, which is hugely a benefit. You know, you think, why didn't they change it halfway through? Maybe they did. Maybe it's just me. I've had mine for quite a while. The range is approximately the same distance. I mean, they used to be 75 to 100 feet. It's still that way, but there's a reason why it's that way. It's not because they don't want to make it stronger or longer or anything specific, and it's not because it's not good quality or good enough. It's because the governments around the world have rules. They do. They have rules when it comes to what you can have. This can only be 25 milliwatts, and at 5.8, 25 milliwatts is going to get you approximately 100 feet of range. This is for your health and well-being. Pretty much that's what it's there for. So, and if they went too much, it would be a problem close, and if they went too little, it would be a problem for distance. They've also added a smart frequency scanner on it. So this way it will scan for the cleanest signal out there out of the 6 possible signals that it can operate at. So all you need to do is turn it on and hold the power button. Once you do that, the light's going to start flashing. Let go, give it another flash. It's going to scan through all the actual possible channels, trying to listen for background noise and trying to decide which one out of those 6 is going to be the cleanest channel to be operating on. It's very smart if other people are using this product in either the same hall you're in, or maybe you don't know what's in the adjoining hall. Somebody could have one of these and you may have an issue. This way, you don't have to worry about that. Again, this is great for turning anything that you have that's wired into something wireless for a reasonably convenient price. Now, you can buy these as singles or doubles, and you can still buy the original one. So if you want to do that, you can do it as well. And for those of you who are concerned about having these two side by side on a mixing board, they now have an extender, so this way you can get that as well. Or if you buy the 2-pack, it's included, the extender part of the package for your controllers and your mixers. Though I personally like to use short XLR cables when plugging this into equipment, and if I was going to put it on a mobile rig, I would have a little piece of Velcro on the back, so this way I can run that XLR cable, Velcro it down, and not have it in the way. I just don't want somebody somehow, or myself, banging it in so hard, you know, hitting the back, and these things are sticking out and maybe damaging something, especially a $3,000 controller, or, you know, my couple of $100 in investments when it comes to the Xvive. Either way, a short XLR cable, small investment for peace of mind. Your choice, but if I'm plugging it into a microphone, of course, I'm doing that. I'm plugging it right in there. If you're going to use it for a wireless microphone, let's say you have a hyperdynamic microphone and you want to run it, you can do that as well. It's pretty good for that when it comes to using it. I've tried it. It works out pretty good. So first, let's talk about how the flashy lights work when it comes to power consumption. So when you plug this in, you're good to go. 100% from 41% to 100 is going to be green. Then you're going to get down to, let's say, yellow, which is going to be anywhere between 6 to 40%, gives you a good indicator there. Red, solid red that is, that's between 1 and 5%. When it's blinking red, you're pretty much done. They're just letting you know that the battery needs to be charged at that point, because it ain't going to work. Now, when it comes to charging time, if you charge it for 30 minutes, you're going to get an hour of additional play time on the unit stacked up there. If you charge it for an hour and 15 minutes, you're adding 2 hours of play time for battery life. And if you charge it for 2.5 hours, of course, you're going to reach the full maximum of 5 hours of play time. So it's always good if you can get a good full charge. But again, it's lithium battery. So if you've used it for a couple hours and you charge it up, plug it in for a couple hours and leave it be, let's do its job, you'll be fine and you won't damage the batteries. I wouldn't permanently leave them plugged in, but at the same time, I wouldn't permanently leave them unplugged either. I wouldn't want to leave these 3 to 6 months unattended. You every once in a while want to charge them just to keep the battery happy. Well, there we go. Don't forget the QR code's been on the screen the whole time, so you can get it there. You can also get it with the links down below. Amazon's linked there. We're going to have Guitar Centers on the actual QR code, so if you're watching this on your TV, that's why the QR code's there. Grab your phone, take a picture of it. It'll get you to where you need to go.